Welcome to Unfiltered, a podcast where real conversations meet real healing. I'm your host, Jackie Douglas-Jones, a mental health therapist, professional life coach, and feminine life strategist. I'm dedicated to helping adults navigate their unique pathways to effective mental wellness. It is important to understand that mental wellness is deeply complex, and the path to sustained mental wellness requires commitment, determination, discipline, and dedication. Each episode, I endeavor to break down barriers to your personal mental healing process by bringing you raw, real, and authentic conversations, expert interviews, and inspiring testimonies. Let's get started.
Hello.
We are very excited to have Michaela. I want to just start talking about little Michaela.
She was such an icon.
She is still an icon, legendary, to be quite honest. Michaela was often overlooked as a little person because she was really quiet, really reserved. She was very cautious. As one of her teachers kind of explained to us, she would never kind of start out as leader, but would always end up being a leader because she would wait and see what was actually going on, if the group dynamic was actually working properly. And if it wasn't, then she would step in and be the leader, which is a little bit like your brother.
Yeah.
Not so much like your sister. Your sister's more like me. We take charge, we go in it to win it, everything's good. You and Tay kind of
hold back for a bit.
Because you were first child, oldest child. Can you identify when you first experienced what you now know as an anxiety as a little person?
Well, growing up, the message I got, I can't remember as far as like 3, because that was when the twins were born.
Yes.
So I can't remember that far back. But I mean, the responsibility I felt for them, and as the oldest child, it wasn't like it was taught to me. It just suddenly like
it was there.
Like there wasn't a switch. I was like, these are my children, and I will take care of them no matter what. I love them so much. And I mean, that led to me being over-controlling, all this other stuff that came with it, because I just wanted them safe. I just they became like my everything.
Do you think it was because they were so little and born prem, and you immediately knew that they were smaller?
I couldn't give you an answer. It was just like an innate thing in me, I'm in charge. Yeah. I'm in charge. Obviously, the mom's the mom.
Yes.
Like the mom is
me.
the mom's the mom.
I'm the mom.
But I just felt if anything happens to them, that's me gone. They are my little. They're my
little chickens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of responsibility for a little 3-year-old.
Yep. I don't think anybody taught me that. You see, I think it just came. Like nobody told me like you have to be responsible for them. Later in life, it kind of just evolved that way, but I didn't. It was just like, it wasn't like I'm the oldest. I will control you. It was like, I want to protect you.
Got you. And can you maybe recall the first time, or maybe what some of the symptoms of your anxiety were when you were little? Like, can you remember what you felt in your body, or what you were thinking in your brain? Or like, I know it's quite difficult because like it's a long time ago, but if there's anything that you can remember that you used to feel in your body, what would that be?
Well, the obvious one is it's normally misinterpreted as excitement or like nervousness. It's that feeling in your stomach.
Yeah.
For me, it was like this feeling that made me so anxious. I didn't want to eat, didn't want to speak, didn't want people to speak to me. I remember like before a ballet show or something, if my mom was talking to me, I'd be like wide-eyed, like listening to her, but I wasn't listening because I didn't want to be
weren't there. No.
I didn't want to be talked to.
Well, we did realize, let me just clarify something for everybody. So the twins, Tay and Law, as we've kind of spoken about, were very competitive. Whereas I figured out really early on that Michaela was not. She might compete with herself, But she was
Only
not
compete with myself.
competitive the way that the twins are. So I figured that out when Michaela was 3.5 and she went to go and do her first ballet, Eisteddfod, and she did so very well and she came second and they said she had to come back and dance again in the final, which was lovely. So we got in the car and I was so proud of her and I said, Michaela, you've done so well, my darling. We're coming back tomorrow and you're going to dance again. And she was very confused and she looked at me and she said, why? Why are we coming back tomorrow? I said, because it's a competition, my love. And she sort of looked at me and I could see on her face she was processing something. So we got there the next day to come and dance again. And Michaela came out on stage. She did not smile. She had no facial expression whatsoever. In fact, she looked really angry. She didn't do any of the moves correctly. She just kind of went through it as though she was practicing it and then left the stage. In that moment, I went, oh, not competitive. Not competitive. So I realized very early on that Michaela would only do things for the enjoyment of it. There was no need for her in her being to be the best at everything unless she wanted to. If she really believed in something and wanted to be the best at that, then she would do that. And that I think Michaela gets from Dad. So we did kind of realize that competition made you anxious. Like having to compete with other people was not a nice feeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've explained it to my psychologist a lot. Like, I've explained it to her that the idea, as a young person, I had such an empathetic heart. Like, it's such a curse, but it's a blessing at the same time. Like, it's a much of a muchness, but I couldn't stand the feeling of me winning something and somebody else not winning, and their parents had to comfort them and they were sad and they wanted this. So I was like, you know what? I will smile with you while you win.
Yes.
Like, I will be happy for you if you win. If seeing them cry with their moms, I did that. So what's like, am I hurting people by winning? Like, so I mean, it was just what I saw, and that made me notice how other people felt. So with me winning, now I will win. And as an adult, I will win.
Things have changed. But
I mean, I still have that thing where, like, I would rather rise you up into the light and, like, clap for you, be happy with you, than me be in the light and you're all in the darkness and you're crying and you're sad and you're whatever.
So if you could take everyone with you into the light and you could all operate there, that would be ideal for you.
Yeah, that's ideal for me.
But so now, as a little kid, that's extremely hard when you talk about your empathetic heart. And I remember distinctly there were some, not so much parties that you went to, but the parties we had at home that you used to feel ill
all the time.
A stomach ache, nausea, and we realized that perhaps these big parties were not actually for you, but we still had them because you never wanted to not invite anybody. So you always wanted everybody in the class at the party, but at the party you would often feel completely overwhelmed, totally nauseous, so anxious, stomach ache.
But you know what? I'm thinking retrospectively at, like, what that stemmed into now. And it's 100% my compulsiveness. Because everybody was at my house. I was in charge of my house, so I had to make sure everyone was having a good time.
Oh, wow.
That's why I would come off bossy, snappy. If it was my birthday and my mom was trying to, like, help me with something, no, I can do it myself. Like, that was kind of
hyper-independent kids.
But I mean, I felt responsible. I don't even know. Like, I thought doing it my way, doing it this, doing it that would ensure everyone would have a good time, and therefore everybody's happy, and therefore that's a success for me. That's a tick for me. I made everybody happy. They had a nice time. No one has anything bad to say. Not that I would care.
So people pleasing, essentially.
Yeah, and it's my compulsiveness. Like I was I had a compulsion to like control the
The
situation.
situation. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really hard as a young person.
But I know what it is now because
Yeah.
I've worked through therapy with it.
Was there something that was going through your little Michaela mind at the time?
Definitely. I mean, at home, there's a lot of factors to consider in terms of everybody's mental illness that was undiagnosed at the time, in terms of everybody's situations that have changed. Like, there was so much to consider. So I remember growing up, it was tough, especially for you and Dad, because Dad was traveling and blah, 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 blah. But I remember I had an anxious feeling because I didn't know what I'd be coming home to. I didn't know what the situation would be at home. I didn't know maybe if Dad and you had argued. I didn't know if you and Gaga had argued. I didn't know if you were in a bad mood. So because of that uncertainty, I always knew that when I got into the car, I could expect anything. You could be cross with me. You could not be cross with me. You could have the best day ever. You could be having the worst day ever. You're tired. You're sick. You're migraine. Something like that. So I would be like, okay, unexpected. Let me just see what's the situation.
That's
when I get
heavy.
When I get in the car.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
why we're talking about it.
But little Michaela, shame. My heart literally breaks. Shame. That must have been really hard not to have just consistency. Like I know that everybody has a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's human. That's relevant. But I also think that the message that I was giving you was that nothing was stable. Nothing was stable. Like, because as a little person, you obviously didn't know what was going to happen and when and who and how. There was an instability of sorts, I think. Hey?
Yeah. And I think, everyone is entitled to have bad days. Everyone's entitled to show their feelings.
Yep.
But I think I caught on very early, like, if Mom's in this mood, say happy things. Say happy things. Make her happy. Like, talk about like how.
So you took on responsibility for my mood.
But not just you.
Dad,
for Law, for Tay, for Dad.
Wow.
So Law was a very strong character, and so was my mom. So when they fought, for some reason, the fights would happen downstairs. So I would sit at the top of the stairs while I was supposed to be doing whatever else a child does, or homework, or playing with Tay, or something like that. I'd be at the top of the stairs, and I would be listening to the conversation, and I'd be listening to what was said, and I'd be like in both arguments, I'd be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, Mom, not the time. And then it was like clockwork. So when everything diffused or nothing diffused, and one of them stormed away, one of them went away, I would go check on Law first and calm her down, make sure she was okay, tell her I was here, take Tay, give Tay to her, make sure that Tay was with her. Then I would go downstairs and I would go see if my mom was okay. And I would make sure she was okay, and I would hold her and I'd listen to her and I'd make sure that she was okay, because I had this deathly fear. I know where it comes from. I had this deathly fear that one of them was just going to unalive themselves because of this pressure. But I mean, I've always had this, it's like a deep fear that I have, and it's where my anxiety actually roots from, is losing the people I love. I'm terrified of death. Like, I'm terrified of death. Because I feel like I have so much to prove. I have so much to give before I need to leave.
Okay.
So don't take me now, please. Like,
I'm busy.
Like, I'm literally so busy. Just chill.
Wait. I suppose it also didn't help your anxiety that Law was in and out of hospital from a really young
with
age.
illnesses. Yeah.
And then Dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. But I think that must have been a huge strain on you, because the possibility of death is that much closer when there is an illness or disease involved.
Yeah.
And I think for little Michaela, that must have been an incredibly difficult thing to deal with as a young kid. You would have thought that I would have sent my kids to counseling, right?
Well, okay,
not.
Pause. Pause.
Hold, pause,
Pause.
engage.
I did go to play therapy.
Because you got left alone in the house.
I got left alone in the house. Let's tell the story.
By accident.
By accident. Totally by accident.
Yeah,
so I was
not
3 years
purpose.
old. The twins had just been born. We'd moved into our new house. Okay? And Mummy B, who was looking after the twins at the time, had taken the twins on a walk. And I had been having my little cute girl nap. At the time, my mom's friend Lolly was living with us. So Lauren. So we had Lauren in the house. We had my dad, my mom, Mummy B, and the twins. The twins and Mummy B had gone out. Lolly had gone out. My dad, don't know where he was. He was probably at work. Yeah. And I didn't realize, and my mom had gone out to get groceries. But when Mummy B had said goodbye, I'm taking them on a walk, she had thought that there was someone else in the house. Well, I had woken up, and I have a picture. I looked out my window and I saw Mummy B walking out with the stroller, and I was like, okay, bye. And I basically just walked around the house and calling people's names, and there was no one. So I went looking in every different room, and eventually I remember standing and seeing my mom's car pull into the driveway, and like I was just like,
I remember
I couldn't phone anyone because I know that I was conscious of the fact that I could phone someone, but like a little 3-year-old knows a telephone number, no, knows how to like call someone, no. So I had the consciousness of I can call someone, but I was like,
you were sobbing when I got home. You were absolutely sobbing.
So I think that fear of
abandonment, of
not even abandonment, like you just not being there, nobody being there.
Oh wow!
Like it's just me.
That's so sad.
Well, I went to play therapy.
Yeah,
I still have little memories of that.
Yeah.
And then I went to speech and writing therapy, and that was when I realized that writing was my way of getting stuff out.
But let's just backpedal a little bit. So even when you were little Michaela, there was a lot going on. Like you were quite a deep soul. You were someone who felt things deeply, but didn't always voice them, didn't always say what was going on. And in junior school, I remember you being involved in pretty much everything except netball. But if I'm thinking correctly, you felt responsible for the whole family. Like you felt responsible for everyone's happiness, everyone's
safety,
ability to be safe and secure, and like somewhere along the line, that little subliminal message was fed to you, and you were like, "This is my role in life."
But no one. I don't remember.
No conscious
I don't remember anyone telling me like I had this responsibility. Like no one told me like you're responsible for this, you're responsible for that, blah 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 blah. No one told me.
I do remember once or twice in junior school. I remember like when you were in grade 6 or 7. I remember turning to you and going like, "It's okay, I'm the mom. Like it's okay.
That's happened a few times.
Yeah, like I've got this. Like especially like when you were older, definitely." But in junior school still, I mean, your nickname...
Mama DJ.
Mama DJ, yeah, because you, even on camp, you were the one to make sure everyone was asleep, the windows were closed, the door was locked, everybody had brushed their teeth, everybody was in the bed. Yeah, so, I mean, that sort of message of I am responsible for everyone and everything all the time, everywhere, and it will be my fault if something goes wrong. Like that's a very hard thing to carry as a child. And I know in your sport, please bear in mind that my child did not get the awards for sport, but she was one of the best sports people in her school.
Yeah.
And I remember her just being this little kid who had a smile on her face, didn't talk much, didn't talk back. But I don't think that anyone else really was able to get to know Michaela, because I don't think Michaela knew Michaela. Like I think your anxiety, you covered it so well by just being all things to everyone.
Oh yeah, that's still a problem for me. I'm working on it, but being everything to everyone and not saying no that is an incredibly hard thing for me.
The power of no.
Still to this day, like I will get a message from someone saying like, oh, do you want to come over? And then I'm sitting there with two conflicted things, especially when I'm here at home. My parents want to spend time with me. Law's going to get nervous if I leave. Tay, chilled, but he might have to drive me.
Don't want to inconvenience him.
I don't want to inconvenience him. And then the person who's asking me, if I like say no, some people that I know will be like, well, why are you saying no? Like, you're 21.
Yeah.
So when you tell me to come over, it's not just that I can just go. I can't drive. I don't have a learner's. So that's just one factor. And then there's all these other factors to come in. So like, I'm always thinking of everything. And it's not something that I'm like conscious of, because it's been like that my whole life. Like I think of every possibility. And that's also where my compulsion comes in the form of OCD. I'm not diagnosed with OCD. I'm just diagnosed with compulsion, a compulsion disorder. And I mean, that ties in with my anxiety, but I'm always thinking of every possible outcome of a situation, so that if it happens, I won't be shocked. I won't be surprised. I'll be ready for it. I can deal with it, like get away with the shock, let the adrenaline set in, and we can deal with it. I remember when I was unmedicated, I would be driving in a car with my mom, and I would imagine my mom slamming into someone coming from this side, someone coming from that side, someone coming from the back, our actual car skidding off the road, like twirling. And I'm like, okay, in this situation, okay, I'm ready. I'm here. I'm looking. And I used to be like a backseat driver, a lot.
Wasn't fun.
Mom, it's green. Mom, go. Mom, turn this way.
Yeah.
Oh, Mom, are you going the right way?
Got it, Kayla.
Mom, I think you're going a bit too fast.
But I've got it, Kayla.
And I can't drive. Bear in mind.
It's true.
So there's no basis for me to, but I just, yeah. And there was this, sorry, I'm rambling now.
No, don't keep rambling. We love the ramble. We love the ramble.
Well, I know someone will like relate, but there's a difference me and my psychologist kind of work through. So there's someone who has an ego. There's someone who thinks that the world revolves around them. They're the best person ever. They have an ego. They are like superwoman, whatever, Superman, they like, it's literally like they think that
they are everyone's savior.
Are literally, some people think they are God. Yes. Right? Then there's me. And sometimes it can get mistaken as an ego, because I think that when I'm in a situation, I'm responsible for it, and I feel like I have this power where I can control it if things go wrong.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's not like I think I'm the best person ever. I just think that somehow
you'll know what to do.
Somehow, if I'm there in the situation,
it'll be fine.
People will be fine. People will be okay. I'll sort things out. I will get it done. Blah, blah, blah. That's why when I was younger, I used to be at home, and my mom would go to Cavendish, and I'd be like, can I come with you?
I remember that.
Because I was terrified that she would get in a car accident because I wasn't in the car with her. Or if my dad would go out on a trip. I'd be terrified something would happen to him because I'm not with him.
Yep. But then you also, like as a kid, I think you also had that gift of knowing. So you would know things before they happened. Like before dad got diagnosed and we knew something was wrong, we didn't know what, and he was riding on the mountain and you were on your balcony looking at the blockhouse on the mountain, and you said to me, Mommy, something's wrong with Dad. And I said, I know, because I also felt it. And when he came back, he had lost his vision and in his one eye and lost depth perception and hit a pothole and actually fallen and slid down a bit of the mountain, but managed to climb up. And he was grazed from head to toe. And I remember the two of us standing on the balcony and praying together that he would get home safely. So I think that also, as a young person, must have caused quite a bit of anxiety, because how do you know what's real and what's not? How do you know?
That's the thing. I mean, to this day, I still have extremely vivid dreams where I can feel someone pinching me. I can feel the air on my face. I can feel an injury. I can, like, it's like I'm living in real life. And I mean, I that just parallels how deeply I feel, how deeply I sense, how deep, like, it's so deep. And, I can't explain it. It can be spiritually explained. It can be scientifically explained. It can be explained. But I mean, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
And I mean, like Tay, he's extremely good at telling what people are feeling and whatever, but I can also tell through their, like, the way they look at me, the tone of voice, stuff like that. And I mean, I think being hyper aware and, like, just hyper aware is also where my anxiety comes from, because I'm always taking in what other people
and
are
I think
feeling.
that's something that's very important to realize, is that as a young kid, because you were so quiet, because you were so, you did take in everything around you, and you did kind of analyze everybody's moves, and you kind of realized how to make each person comfortable and happy, which then would make you comfortable and happy, which was why everyone liked you. All the teachers loved you. You were such a sweet kid. So I had an idea of who you were, but because you and I used to get on really well, but you were also a rule follower. So you were never any trouble for me, ever. Like, I just used to raise my voice, like, not even shout. The tone of my voice used to, and your,
Yeah.
it was just tears. And I didn't have to do much for you to understand that I was angry with you about something. But I'm thinking about all those little kids, the little Michaelas at school, who are pretty much going through school kind of not voicing.
Oh God, I can't imagine what it would be like now.
Their emotions. And as a parent, I'm kind of wondering if you could go back and tell me something, or if you could give any advice to parents of young little Michaelas out there, or even young extroverted kids. Like, what would it be?
I would probably say, if your kid makes a mistake that seems so dumb to you, like common sense, like, why would you make this mistake? Don't shout at them. Don't make them feel bad. Don't make them, like, because, oh, I didn't pick up my clothes today. Oh, my mom told me so many times. Yes, obviously it gets annoying when your mom's telling you and telling you and telling you. But I mean, that in itself, the fact that you're having to tell your child on and on and over and over again, that's a problem. They have something wrong with them. Not wrong with them, but they have something is not clicking in their brain. So instead of, your child doesn't do their homework, instead of shouting at them, why didn't you do your homework? Try look why they're not doing their homework.
Okay.
What's
underneath it?
If your child is clumsy, like Tay used to be so clumsy, he wasn't comfortable in his own skin. That was beneath. So he wasn't, like, he physically wasn't aware of his own body, because he was just not in his own skin. So that's why he was clumsy. He didn't talk because he was not in his own skin. So people used to say, like,
he was the grumpy one.
He was the grumpy one.
No.
He never talked. He should talk
just
more.
Autistic,
He should
not
smile.
Grumpy.
Like,
just autistic. That's it.
If your child makes a mistake, don't take it as they're going to make this mistake for the rest of their lives and this is the do or die. And, like, it's, I mean,
you were really scared to make mistakes as a kid.
I was so scared to make mistakes, because, I mean, I think I did get, like, a high from other people's, like, praise. Not necessarily like, oh my gosh, you're the best. Oh my gosh, like, just like, oh, thank you for thinking of me. Oh, just people acknowledging that I had done something good.
Yeah.
Instead of something bad. I think it was just like in me. And I remember I passed that on. Well, like, I tried to pass that mentality on to my siblings by being like, don't do this or mom will get mad, so do this rather instead. Because I didn't want them to make mistakes as well. Like,
I don't actually ever remember being that angry with you. You didn't do a lot to make me angry, or for me to get. I mean, there wasn't. I don't
either.
actually remember getting angry with you all that much. I'm sure I did.
Mm.
And I'm sure it gave you the heebie-jeebies.
But I think the only time you would get angry with me is, or angry with us, is when you were overstimulated.
True stories.
Yeah.
True stories.
I-
Most times that is the truth though, because let's face it, like as parents, we do get overstimulated. We are on the go, and especially as
Doing
a mom
everything all the
of
time.
3 kids, my days would start at about 5 in the morning and end at about 8, 9 in the evening. And I would be absolutely shattered. But it was a really busy time. And I think my kids actually suffered for that because I just remember that whiteboard that we had with all your activities, everybody's activities, and it was chock-a-block.
It was up in the old kitchen, yeah.
And because I just couldn't keep my head on straight, and I was such a mess, I think, emotionally. And I was trying so hard just to
keep it together.
And meanwhile, I was actually causing so much harm to my kids around me. And I think for someone like little Michaela, little empathetic hearts, who understood that there was a lot of pain.
Yeah, I could see through it.
Yeah, because I think that's what empathy is. Empathy is understanding. Empathy is knowing and feeling. And I think little Michaela could feel a lot. So I think I really want to ask parents to listen a little more closely, to look a little more closely at your kids, and not to listen to the outside voices of the other moms and the other, do you know, or the other, but really take some time to get off that hamster wheel and look at your kids,
to know your child,
and see them for who they are. Not who you want them to be or think they should be, or the extra clinics and the extra this and the extra hockey and the extra netball and the extra, but actually just look at them as little human beings. And the same grace that you give yourself, you have to give your kids 10 times as much, because they are still little people trying to evolve and change and grow, and their brains are still very, very much like sponges. And the subliminal messages that we give our kids are as important as the out loud messages we give our kids.
The opinions and thoughts expressed in this podcast are personal and specific. While we are sure you will get a lot of valuable information from this podcast, please be advised that this is not professional medical advice unless specified otherwise. Please consult your medical professional before making any changes to your wellness regime.
The thing I always used to hear is, oh, you have siblings. Oh, they must look up to you so much. Or you need to behave because your siblings are looking at you.
Yeah, yep.
So, I mean, I've heard it from my parents probably like a long time ago, but I was the example. I was the person that they looked to, so I had to behave.
Instead of us as the parents. And now I kind of think I want to dive into the high school experience, because it's changed dramatically in the high school. We won't go into all of it, but let's just...
Who knows?
I know that when we got to high school, I bowed out. I was like... good luck. Like, I love you and you've done a great job in junior school. See you on the other side of high school. I will not be a class rep. I will not be getting involved. I will not be listening to anything. I will not be going to meetings. I'm out.
Best decision ever made. Not saying that all parents must do this, because I was the type of kid that this was perfect for. Like, with my mom taking a step back, I mean, she wasn't really like she didn't like helicopter mom me at all when I was
just involved in a lot.
No, but like
at junior school.
Even my academics, she would help me on projects when I was younger, but she
told me to stop helping her when she was in grade 4.
Yeah, like if I had projects, like she would help me, but like the rest of the time I was like, yeah, I got it, it's fine. Oh, Dad, can you translate this for me? Oh, thank you so much. Let me read my oral for you. Blah, blah, blah. But like I would know, I think you stopped checking my orals in like grade 4.
I did.
Like,
I stopped checking everything because I remember coming to you, but just because grade 4 was the first time that you were going to write exams. And then I came to you and I said, right, let's study. And you went, no, thank you. And I was like, oh, okay, Queen, let's leave that then.
Yeah.
So, like we got to high school, and you had already kind of stepped back from me in terms of needing my help, so to speak.
But I knew you were there. Like,
yeah,
you would help
absolutely.
me anytime I needed it.
But I wasn't going to get involved in the school things because I already did that. And I still had 2 kids at the junior school.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be involved in junior and senior school. That was going to be crazy. Crazy.
So cuckoo.
But what I do remember is the very first time you took drama as a subject, and the very first time that you got to showcase your drama for an exam or something. I remember we all were allowed to come and watch, but I asked you if you wanted me there because something in me, having been on the stage myself, knew how nerve-wracking it was to have people in the audience that you know and love. And for some people, that's a comfort, like just seeing someone that you know in the audience is great. For me, it was terrifying. And so I asked you, do you want me to come watch? And I think that is one of the first times that you said no to me and continued to say no all the way to matric. I have never seen her on stage.
I showed her videos.
No, you actually
showed
me one.
Yeah,
one in 5 years. I actually only met her drama teacher when she was in grade 10, end of grade 10 going into grade 11. So I think high school was very different. And there were a lot of challenges that we were facing as a family. Your high school experience was incredibly different in that you did both grade 11 and 12 in COVID.
Yeah.
I remember, Michaela, COVID was a hard time for you, but even leading up to that, we were going through a lot of stuff as a family.
Yeah.
So just give us a brief synopsis of how your anxiety changed. How did that change? Just give us a little outline.
So going into high school, there's the normal nerves. There's normal like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to find my classroom. But it's like exciting nerves. Like you get to do it with your friends. If you go to a high school that people with, like you make new friends. Sometimes that can be so terrible for you to think about. Sometimes that's the best thing for you to think about. Just depends who you are. But for me, it was with my friends. I was going into this new situation, this new chapter of my life. And I remember it just being exciting for the first, probably first year. It was exciting for me. It was this new thing. I mean, there was you moved to different classes, like you didn't have it all in one. It was just, for my anxiety, I think I was at a low, I would say.
As in your anxiety was low?
Yeah, my anxiety was at a low because I also realized that my junior school had prepared me so well for my high school. So my marks were good, and I realized that they had made us work so hard in my junior school that when I got to high school, my minimum effort would get me a 70. And I was like, no wonder I have anxiety. I was worked like a machine.
An expletive.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, my first year was great. Second year, grade 9, that's normally like the typical when all the friendships, whatever. I never had any drama.
No.
I didn't have, basically what my mom told me and what stuck with me the whole time was, do not make enemies in high school.
No.
And I took that upon myself and I was like, oh, let me take it one step further. Everybody's going to like me.
No.
Not as an ego thing. I just was terrified of having people like enemies because I didn't deal well with drama. I didn't deal well with conflict. It was not on the top of my list. I was not out looking for conflict. That's not what I was doing. And if I did, that my anxiety would be so high. And so I started having things in common with people. So that looked like, oh, I play hockey with these people, so I know them from hockey. So I'm this person with them at hockey because, we talk about this at hockey. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I do swimming with these people. Oh, I'm friends with them. I know them from here. Oh, like I have things in common. Oh, I have English with this person. I have English. So I tried to find that common ground that I could speak to everyone with. And that's also compulsion. I'm talking to everyone, people pleasing. I'm making sure that I know everyone. I knew everyone by name.
That's so hard.
Whereas one of the most popular girls in the school only knew my name in grade 10. And I would be like, oh, the ignorance. But to be fair, it was a lot of people. I was just so hyper aware, hyper observant.
Yeah.
Like I knew everyone, and I knew it's so crazy because I had like leverage on everyone. Like they would tell me things and I knew it all. But would I use it? No, never.
Ever. You're just like the sounding board, everyone's problems.
Yeah.
Because you're safe.
Yeah.
But then did you feel safe?
No.
Okay, that's an interesting dynamic.
Well, I mean, in grade 10, I had my first trip to Oxford. And I mean, that was like a independence thing. I'd done things by myself. I wasn't really experiencing any anxiety that I
actually, well, I beg to differ. I'm pulling the mom card.
What?
When you were in Oxford, it was your birthday and you were turning 16.
Yeah.
And I took you out for dinner and you did
not eat.
You couldn't, you were so nauseous. And basically we had quite a shitty date because you were feeling so yuck. And eventually I just took you back. And once you were back at college, you were fine. And that I see now was anxiety, the anxiety of leaving the college and maybe.
No, it was my compulsion.
Yeah.
You're with me. So now I have to be like aware.
A look on everything.
But that also, just a side note on my compulsion, that would translate into my relationship with my parents because I couldn't control what my dad said. And if you know my dad, he says anything, anytime, anywhere to anyone. So I got embarrassed so easily.
So let me just explain something. Sorry, I think I need to explain something. So my husband has multiple sclerosis, as many of our listeners will know, those of you who've tuned in and listened before. And he has, I think, about 15 lesions on his brain. And so the scope of his brain has changed dramatically during the course of his disease. And he was diagnosed at 38. He is now 49. So the scope of that disease has changed his brain dramatically in the way that he processes. So unfortunately, he cannot process in his brain. He processes aloud, meaning that whatever he's thinking in his brain usually come out his mouth.
Yeah. So, but also, he's like the best, friendliest man ever. He wants to connect with everyone.
Makes friends with
he wants
everyone.
to make friends. And as someone who couldn't control what my dad was saying, sometimes, like I'm young, I'm hyper aware of the social norms. I'm hyper aware of what's right, what's wrong, what's this, what's that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm terrified of what's going to come out of his mouth, what he's going to do.
Stop, Dad, Daddy, no, stop it. Dad, shut up. Don't.
I would literally sound like that. I would literally be like that. Shh, Dad.
Stop it. No, Dad, don't.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how I would sound. I mean, like, I was so like...
That was so unnerving
for you. He would
rack
my nerves because I was like, I can't do anything about it.
No.
I can't control him. And I think my dad felt really, really bad because he used to take it like, he was embarrassing me.
Didn't he come up with a cue or something?
Yeah, he said something about like
touching his nose, like you
that
just had
went out the window.
Yeah, no. He told the kids that if they felt like he was embarrassing them, they should look at him and touch their nose, and he would know that was the signal. But also, my husband is autistic ADHD, so doesn't always remember things. Kind of goes in one ear, comes out the other. So they would touch their nose and look at him, and he would go, "What? Is there something on my nose?"
Yeah.
I remember you experiencing a little bit of anxiety when we were in Oxford.
Oh God. Yeah.
But I left you there. I left you to kind of fend for yourself. I had to, because you were in the college and you were doing the things. And I know when you came back, it was really hard for you to integrate into school again.
Oh my goodness. It was 2 weeks that I was by myself with all these like other international people doing the course with me. And I got back to school and I realized I could be filming stuff right now. I could, because I have the knowledge now. Like I have the ability now. So why am I in school? Why am I learning about maths when that's not what I'm going to do? So I was very like conflicted about what I wanted to do. And I mean, that fed into my anxiety because I felt like I wasn't living up to my potential right now. I'm just wasting my time on this stuff.
Yep.
I
remember
asked
this.
my mom multiple times, I want to be homeschooled. I don't want to be at the school anymore. I want to drop
Actually, I
out.
listened.
I want to drop out. Blah, blah. Well, actually, it worked out for the best. But anyways,
well,
but I just, it wasn't like a happy place. Like I loved school, like to some degree. I love my friends. But I mean, I kept thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this assignment? This literally has nothing to do with what I'm passionate about. So therefore, like, what's the point?
What am I doing? Yeah.
What's the point? And, I had to work through that, and I had to realize, there's something, this high school is something that I had to go through. It had, everybody goes through it. I have to go through it. Like, I just have to make it out, and then, home free.
Yeah.
And then grade 11, COVID hit. And
fun times.
That was the beginning of not only the world, like, going crazy, like, everything started going crazy in the house.
So just
my
for
grandparents were going to move into our house.
So for some context, there were a lot of changes in COVID. My dad lost his job, and then on Michaela's birthday of the day, my dad had a heart attack. So we had to kind of change our home and give them a space in our home. So we had people during COVID trying to build in our home and keep a safe distance. We had our little Law, whose life was just
in pieces,
shattered completely. That was in your matric year as well, when things were at their absolute worst.
It started in COVID when Law got admitted to clinics.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. That was such a crazy thing to me, because it felt to me like this wasn't real. Like it wasn't real.
So let's just backtrack a bit, because before Law was admitted to the clinic, things were pretty messy in our house. Like things were pretty hectic. And you were the one who actually found her twice when she tried to take her own life. Tell us a bit about how that affected your anxiety. Because that's a really tough thing for you as a person with a compulsion to save and to rescue. And you were the one who found her both times. And so we knew nothing of it, by the way. We knew nothing of it. The kids kept it from us. They all knew. But my husband and I didn't know the extent of it. And eventually, when Law was admitted to the clinic, all the secrets started coming out, and then some. And tell us a little bit about what happened with your anxiety during that time.
Well, the best way to explain it is that I never slept. Wasn't getting any sleep because I was paranoid.
Weren't you living on beta pain as well?
That was in grade 12.
That was in grade 12. Okay, sorry.
So I wouldn't sleep because I slept with my door open as well, so that I could hear everything that was going on in Law's bedroom. If she opened her door in the night, I would check to see if she's just going to the toilet. If, like, the slightest noise, I would wake up and I'd go check if and sometimes she'd be asleep, and I would just watch her. I would just stand there and I'd watch her for a while just to make sure she was breathing. And then I'd close the door and I'd go lie back down, maybe fall in and out of sleep. And and I would just watch her. I would just stand there and I'd watch her for a while just to make sure she was breathing. And then I'd close the door and I'd go lie back down, maybe fall in and out of sleep. And it's just circles back to I could not imagine losing her. Like, that is just not an option. So I was there. So I was like, nobody else is doing it. So therefore, I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to make sure she stays alive.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't even know how I got through that. I don't even know. Adrenaline, maybe.
I just remember you being very tired in grade 11. Very tired. Still achieving incredible things in school. Don't really know how. Not a cooking clue. Still projecting a modicum of, hey man, life is cool, I'm fine. Like,
if you were on, okay, this is for my friends who ever listen. If you were on my Snapchat story in 2020, you will know. I started these stories on Snapchat about positivity, and I was making videos all the time. I think that's what helped me as well. That's when my TikTok grew as well, because I was making videos.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've realized in my life. When things are bad, I make videos to distract myself.
I didn't know that.
Because, like, jump forward a few years when I was in the UK and I was all alone, I would make vlogs.
Yeah.
Because I had no one to talk to.
Yeah. So then Law's journey continued through your matric year.
When I was in matric, it got bad.
Yeah, got very bad in matric. And that's when Dad and I knew that something was up.
I remember both my parents got COVID at the same time.
Yeah.
And they were living in their bedroom. So, like, obviously we couldn't do anything. Like, whatever. And this is after Law came out the first clinic.
So now she was in active ED, because that was in August.
Yeah. Bear in mind, because my parents were so tired and run down, and, you know, my mom was going through a lot, my dad was going through a lot, they would go to bed very early, like 7 o'clock. They would be in bed. So I would be in the lounge by myself, and I had a gin and tonic every night at the ripe age of 17. In conjunction to that, I would have probably 2 allergics to put me to sleep. Or I would use one of Lord Tay's sleeping meds to put me to sleep.
That's really hard, Michaela. That's hard for you.
But yeah, so I had to look after my parents who had COVID at the time, and I was writing mock finals, and Law was going through an ED, and I was trying to tell her to eat food. And
she was just happy because we were sick, so then her ED could thrive and no one was watching her, and she could just do all the things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tay was like,
not comfortable in his own skin.
I think he was just like, no way. Like, he was just gone.
No.
So
gone.
I mean,
like, your world was unraveling really fast.
But I didn't realize it. I just thought, like, let me just keep this together. And I would go to school. Everything is all right, guys. Let me just pop these 2 Betapain, and I'd be flying for the day. I would be all good. Trigger warning, I didn't eat in the morning, and I would pack a small lunch, because that's also when my compulsion came in and said, you can only have food when you have done enough work today, and it's like you've
so
got
food became a reward.
Yeah, I use food as a reward, because I mean, it's a whole thing. Like, you can't, like, I couldn't control anything else. Let me control this, like. And I just remember in every class, my stomach was so loud, it would roar because I was so hungry. But yeah, I just remember I would go to class. It would be break time. I would go to because I wasn't getting any sleep still. So I would sit down at break. I'd fall asleep in the sun, not talk to anybody, wouldn't sit with anybody. I would just sit in the middle of a quad, go to sleep, wake up, go to my next class, still like, what's going on? Do my work, another break, go to sleep, wake up, do the next thing, go home, do hockey, do this, do that, whatever the hell I'm doing. And it was just like, I remember thinking, like, if I can keep the loop going, eventually I will matriculate and then fun times. And then we can slay all day.
And she did matriculate very well. And so in 2022, I remember you being absolutely exhausted. I remember you taking a break, but then you started at a university in Oxford
In September.
in September of 2022. And that was a huge thing. I mean, for someone who was dealing with all of this stuff, and by that stage, I was very much on my healing path and starting to kind of
Turn it over.
unlearn a lot of the kaka-poof-poof habits.
Kaka-poof-poof.
And yet it took us a long time to get to the point where you could trust me enough to be consistent in your life. And I think I tried to prove it a lot to you, that like by actually just being there and helping you and going through the things, and and reminding you that it's okay, you're not trapped. But you were quite far away from the university. You were a 30-minute walk from the university. And I know you used to walk about 5 to 10 Ks every single day, to get around campus to and from university. And I know that during the winter months, you refused to catch the bus because of all the germaphobes and stuff happening on the buses and the public transport. So you would kind of walk, wind, rain, sun, snow, you walked. And I remember bringing you home for Christmas. I think you came home for Christmas after first term, and that was great. And then
that was like, everybody's having such good times.
Yes, slay. Michaela's doing amazing. Wow, wow, wow. And then you went back. And then it wasn't so great.
No.
So let's just talk a bit about that. What happened with your anxiety? What happened there?
Oh, it was like, so first of all, I didn't have a job at that point. So, in the economy that the UK is today, like £300 a month does not get you even anywhere. So I stretched. I stretched it. I could do it, but it did mean that some days I would eat cereal for all 3 meals. So, it was tough. It was tough. But I think I just, being away from home, then this anxiety is coming in, this depression setting in, this whole thing. And I'm not socially active with any of my friends because they're so far away and it's first year and everyone's like, ooh, I don't want to, ooh. And I just remember I just had this permanent headache. It started with a permanent headache. I was like, yo, that's not real.
Yeah.
And it happened just after I viewed a house. We were so excited to move into this house, and it was the perfect house, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, I just went, meow. And it got to the point where I hadn't opened my curtains and I hadn't really left my bed in a week.
Which stretched into 2 weeks.
I was dizzy. Every time, lying down, standing up, walking, whatever, dizzy. I couldn't really see that well. Couldn't open my eyes. My eyes were stinging. I wanted to close them every 5 seconds, but when I closed them, they would be sore as well. I was having heart palpitations, struggling to breathe. It was
hectic. Pain in your jaw, pain in your head, up the side of your face, down your neck, into your back.
My arm as well.
Numb, yeah.
I was I thought I was dying. And I had to be on the phone with my mom 24/7.
Literally.
I would have the phone on FaceTime while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And she would be there.
Yep.
And when I woke up, she was there. And I would talk to her at the time of my life. And she would walk me through things. She would say, okay, we're going to the toilet now. I'll come with you, blah, blah, blah. She would walk me through things and everything. And then we realized that there was a problem. I said, I cannot.
So we went into survival mode. I got hold of a friend of mine who lived in the street parallel to where Michaela lived. And I remember she got over to you as soon as possible. She sat for the entire day in the hospital with Michaela, waiting for someone to see her, only to have the doctor ask her to walk in a straight line and say, you're okay, maybe you need a dentist. And it was at that stage that I turned to Dad and I was like, she needs to come home and she needs to come home now. And I think you got on the plane, you arrived Wednesday. Thursday, you were at the dentist. And then Monday went in because they realized that actually she had all her wisdom teeth coming out. One was pushing into her sinus cavity. And one of her bottom wisdom teeth, the nerve that runs through your jaw here, was trapped between the roots of her wisdom teeth. Excellent. So she was basically living her life constantly waiting for the bottom to fall out, constantly waiting, and still to some degree is. You know, in hindsight, Michaela, when I think about that, for you, that was an incredibly empowering moment because for the first time in your life, I think you realized that you could actually count on us.
Yeah. Like, I didn't want to leave the house. My mommy will do it for me.
We had come along in such leaps and bounds.
The one thing I used to be scared about is talking about it with someone, and I would get so anxious talking about it because I'm reliving it.
Oh, that's so true.
I thought, and then I would be thinking about it for the rest of the day. So that's one thing I had to deal with. But you know, it gets easier. But talking to people, and especially in my relationship, like I have to tell him how I feel because, like,
he's not psychic. He's not gonna know.
No one's psychic. No one's gonna know what's exactly happening inside your head. So you need to spell it out. And if they think it's ridiculous or like if they dismiss it, that's a little bit of a problem. If they want to understand what you're thinking, if they're like, wow, that's interesting, like that's. So I try to get to the root of my anxiety, and then from there I work out what's the best way. Do I breathe it out?
Do you tell Jade at all? I mean, do you say to him like, and then how does he respond? I mean, what does that look like?
Well, he will ask me how he can help. He tells me he loves me. He tells me like I'm amazing. He's so proud of me. And then he asks like how I can help. And I say like, can you text me throughout the day? Can you call me now if you're not busy?
Michaela, thank you again. I love you. You're amazing. And thank you. We'll see you again next time. And bye-bye.
Bye.